Welcome to Pioneers Knowledge Hub.
The Global Peace Index report not just determines the safest countries but also gives information about the most unsafe countries across the globe. There are around 25 different indicators that are looked at, and there are 163 countries in this report to conclude which countries are safe or unsafe. These indicators are categorized into ongoing international conflict, societal safety and security, and militarization. The indicators used to publish this report are the external and internal violent conflicts, political instability, distrust level, terrorist acts, homicides, and military expenses. Based on the above factors, a final score for each country is calculated. Here are the world's top 10 safest countries. Number 10, Switzerland. The 10th safest country in the world for 2023 is Switzerland. Reasons for this include the country's stable economy, democratic government, and low crime rate. Plus, Switzerland's long-standing neutrality is another key factor in keeping the country safe. The country hasn't been involved in a war since 1815, and this has helped it avoid much of the violence and turmoil that other nations have experienced. But the war in Ukraine has caused Switzerland to lean closer to NATO by adopting sanctions against Russia. Switzerland is also known for its stance on guns. Although the country has one of the world's highest rates of gun ownership, it also has an extremely low rate of gun-related street crime or mass shootings. Guns in Switzerland are far more tightly regulated than most people think. Number 9, Japan. The 9th safest country in the world for 2023 is Japan. Japan has been in the top 10 countries in the Global Peace Index for 14 years, consistently receiving high marks for low crime rates, minimal internal conflict, and virtually non-existent political unrest. Japan's proximity to potentially hostile neighbors China and North Korea could become a threat to its safety at some point, but has not thus far. Japan is known for having limited immigration and limited access to firearms, as the Japanese do not view carrying a firearm as an individual's right. According to the Safe Cities Index from the Economist Intelligence Unit, Tokyo was considered the safest city in the world in 2019, ranking first in cybersecurity, second for health security, and fourth for infrastructure security and personal security. Number 8, Slovenia. The 8th safest country in the world for 2023 is Slovenia. One of the former members of Yugoslavia, Slovenia's high safety ranking can be attributed to its excellent scores in not one, but three separate categories: travel security, medical risks, and road safety. Like many Slavic states, Slovenia installed a democratic government in the mid-1990s and is now focused upon improving quality of life in many areas, including safety and sustainability. Number 7, Portugal. Portugal comes in 7th in the most peaceful countries rankings for 2023. In 2014, Portugal was ranked 18th globally and has since made significant strides. Unlike Iceland and New Zealand, Portugal has armed police. However, an increased police presence has resulted in a decreased crime rate in the country. In recent years, Portugal has experienced an economic resurgence, decreasing its unemployment rate from over 17% to under 7%. Portugal consistently ranks among the best countries for retirement, due in no small part to its high level of safety. Number 6, Singapore. Singapore ranks 6th on the GPI for 2023. In a Gallup report from 2018, Singapore residents felt the highest sense of personal security and had more positive experiences with law enforcement than did residents of any other country. Singapore has one of the lowest crime rates in the world, possibly due to the severe penalties that are issued for even small crimes. The government and police strictly control guns and other firearms, and violent and confrontational crimes are rare in Singapore. As a city-state, Singapore also ranks as the 2nd safest city in the world according to the Safe Cities Index from the Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU. In 2019, Singapore ranked 1st for infrastructure security and personal security, 2nd for digital security, and 8th for health security. Number 5, Austria. Austria ranked as the 5th safest country in the world for 2023. While violent demonstrations in the wake of ongoing social unrest remain a concern, these are relatively easy to avoid, and otherwise, Austria is a very safe country to visit. Serious crimes are uncommon, with the usual caveat to watch for pickpockets and purse snatchers. Additionally, Austria has been spared any major acts of terrorism in recent years. Number 4. New Zealand. New Zealand is the fourth safest country in the world. Like Iceland, New Zealand has a very low crime rate, and violent crime is especially rare. Theft is still worth guarding against, especially in tourist areas, which holds true in every country in the world, but overall risk is minimal. Unlike its neighbor Australia, which is known for its dangerous wildlife, box jellyfish, taipan snakes, stonefish, funnel web spiders, and more, New Zealand has no deadly animals. New Zealanders are generally open-minded and have laws in place to prevent the violation of anyone's freedom of speech or expression. As in Iceland, police in New Zealand do not carry personal firearms. Number 3. Ireland. Ireland ranked as the third safest country in the world for 2023. Ireland became notably more peaceful in 2021 and vaulted from 11th place to 3rd in the 2023 rankings as a result. Crime is quite low outside of a few city neighborhoods, and as in any country, one should be wary of pickpockets and scammers in tourist-dense areas, and there is little threat of cultural violence or terrorism. In fact, the Irish landscape may pose a greater safety risk than its people. The country's breathtaking cliffs and winding country roads must be treated with respect, especially during a sudden rainstorm or in areas with no cell reception. Number 2. Denmark. Ranked second on the 2023 Global Peace Index, Denmark is another of the safest and happiest countries in the world. Denmark is one of the few countries where people report feeling safe at any time of day or night, even children. Denmark has a high level of equality and a strong sense of common responsibility for social welfare, two qualities that contribute to its citizens' feelings of safety and happiness. Corruption is rare in Danish business or politics, as honesty and trust are top priorities. While Denmark has a high personal income tax, these taxes fund social programs that ensure everyone receives services and perks that help them live comfortable lives. For example, everyone in Denmark has access to tuition-free higher education and healthcare with no additional fees to them, and the elderly are provided at-home care helpers. Number 1. Iceland. According to the Global Peace Index, Iceland is the first-ranked safest country in the world for the 15th year in a row. Iceland is a Nordic nation with a relatively small population of 340,000. Iceland has a very low level of crime, which is typically attributed to its high standard of living, small population, strong social attitudes against crime, a high level of trust in their well-trained police force, and a lack of tension between social and economic classes. Iceland has no military, and the police do not carry firearms with them, only extendable batons and pepper spray. Iceland also has laws in place to guarantee equality, such as legal same-sex marriage and same-sex adoptions, religious freedom, and equal pay for men and women. Thanks for watching.